the Design Convo podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Design Convo podcast, where we interact with creative individuals from the design industry to learn the things that otherwise might be a little bit difficult to understand, especially when we are starting as designers. The show will be the space where we ask questions that might sound silly but make a huge difference in our lives. I'm your host Shakti Hari, and I'm going to ask the questions on everyone's behalf. I'm feeling great today. For this episode, we have a wonderful artist, an NFT enthusiast, a creative director with us, and he is also a creative entrepreneur. He has over 14 years of global experience influencing product design with brands including Facebook, LinkedIn, eBay, etc. Today, he's a creative director at Riversand, a global software company, empowers enterprises to transform their data into an engine of growth. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Melvin Thambi. Welcome to the show, Melvin. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you, Shakti. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thanks for the great
So
intro.
that's I'm honored to have you as my guest. So let's start with your story. Can you please take us through what and how you shaped yourself as an artist or a designer that you are today? I know this is a simple
Yeah,
question, but it should have a pretty long answer.
yeah. When you ask this question, it's going to be like a big story, but then I will try to tell it in very short words.
Okay, okay.
I'm coming from a fine arts background where I studied applied art, which
Mm-hmm,
mainly focused on advertising and other stuff. So one of my
mm-hmm,
friend introduced me to IT industry. So I got a job in a IT company as a designer first, and then I joined there and I learned all these design tools and other stuff from Google Academy. Why I'm saying Academy is like we can learn anything from Google. Like so I learned all these tools from there and uh, the technology behind it and everything. So I started as a designer first, like a web designer. Then
mm-hmm.
slowly some financial crisis happened during 2008 and I lost my job. Then I started learning HTML, CSS. I have to learn, to get a decent job in India. At that time, we have to do all sort of things, like you need to do coding, you need to do design, you need to do UX, whatever you say, you need to do that. You need to be like a ninja for that. So
Yeah.
I learned HTML, CSS, and other stuff, and I was working as a semi developer plus designer kind of thing for another startup. And then I came to know about so at that time the smartphones and the mobile designs and everything was getting very popular. So I thought like I need to study that, so I applied for another company called Rapid Value. They were the pioneers in that space at that time, so I applied that in the career page. I got a invitation to come to go there for an interview. So during the night, I created one portfolio with some random mobile designs, whatever. I don't know how to design and also, but I designed it, and I went there, and it was like a full day interview. And I still remember that day. And the CEO was there interviewing me, the HR head and everything. Every people were there. So from there, I started my next phase of design life, where I started doing product design and other stuff. So I started a design team also there, and we branded like Rapid Gems. It's like a bunch of front end developers and UI UX designers, animation people, and everything. Then I got an opportunity to work in US. So I moved from India to US, and I was working for a company called Riversand. And it's like a data management company. So that is another phase of my design life where I'm completely new to this data management stuff, and also because I used to design stuff, but then here you don't need to design too much, but you need to understand the logic behind it, and you need to work for the customers. So it was a different experience altogether, working with the product team, sales team, marketing team. So it was a great learning experience. And then Riversand got merged to another company called Syndigo, which is also a data management company in Chicago. So I'm right now working as a creative director for Syndigo, uh,
Mm-hmm.
closely working with marketing team and sales team.
Okay. All right. That's a crazy backstory. Thanks for sharing it. You mentioned that you have I don't know, formal education in arts. So, do you think in today's world, a formal education in art or design is important to be successful?
Yeah, education in a sense, like for example, I studied 4 years of fine arts in a finance college, like where I learned about painting. I mean, like applied art is all about the layout, structure, typography, designing, and all the stuff, and it's all about advertising. And uh, it's not like what we learn from theory or practical from a college. What I learned is like a creative life, like where I got an opportunity to collaborate or connect with a lot of amazing talents. Many people are famous right now, I got an opportunity because I studied in a fine arts college, and I learned how to sustain as a creative person by doing other sort of jobs, like to for our education, because fine arts college is not like a glamorous college, everyone is like creative people, they don't have any money, so they have to figure out how to do their education stuff as well as their daily life, so I was coming from a like a very orthodox family where art is not a big subject or talking point there, but there I learned more about life, there I got a chance to meet some amazing people. From them I learned more about how the creative journey should be, and I've got an opportunity to connect with sculptors, painters, musicians, so that is what I consider like a big learning experience when I go to college. But if you ask like a professional education, I don't think anyone needs to go to college and spend like 4 or 5 years to become like an expert, because whatever you learn from college you have to unlearn, because when you enter into the real space, the real industry, when you work with customers, there are other traits that you need to learn, like the communication skills,
Hmm.
I mean the negotiation skills, the elevator pitch skill, like there are tons of other stuff that you need to learn to sustain as a professional designer. So that I don't get from college, that I learned from my hard experiences, so I think for that you don't need to go to college, and there
All
are
right.
tons of information and education materials that you can get from internet. You just need to curate and figure it out like what works well for you, right?
Yeah. It's just all about the curiosity, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. 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 All right. You mentioned that you come from a conventional background where art was not encouraged as a career. But I know for a fact that everyone in your family is an artist or a designer right now. That should feel amazing, doesn't it? Can you tell us about Teresa and Nimi Melvin and how they are involved as a family in creating art and exploring art?
Yeah, so that's a funny story. Like for example, my wife from the same college, so you can imagine how I got it. So she was a painter there. She was studying painting, and she finished her Master of Fine Arts and everything. So it was very funny when I told about marrying her with my family. When I told my family like I'm going to marry this artist, and all my relatives, doesn't have any idea about art and how it is and all. Like uh, they asked me like why you're marrying another artist, like you're also struggling to become something better in your life, and you're going to marry another artist, like man, think about it, it's your future, it's your life. Then I told them like, see, for me marriage is like I need to talk to my partner, like
Hmm.
and we need to talk about what is happening, what I am passionate about, passionate about. If the partner doesn't understand what I'm working on or what I'm associated with, there is going to be like a big gap, and I have to brainstorm, and I need to so my relatives, they're Orthodox Christian family. My parents and my uncle, and they're like, "What you're marrying for talking?" So they didn't understand the context, like. But then they agreed, they were supportive, like. I married her, and it was a big change in my life, because she's an artist, right? So whenever we go for a art exhibition or whatever, I used to see from an applied art mindset, like applied art mindset is all about advertising, like we will see the potential in marketing and other stuff, but we
Yeah.
might not see the inner meaning of a painting, the strength of a stroke or whatever, like. But uh, going with her helped me to understand the complexity of an artist having while doing an artwork and other stuff. So I got a great opportunity to understand art little more better, to appreciate artists little more better. So it brings a lot more change in my life, and Then we got a baby, and the moment when she started growing up, she also started scribbling on paper and everything. I don't know, like whether she might be seeing that all the time. Me and my wife is doing something creative stuff, right? So she got excited
Yeah.
about it, and later we discovered she's also having some talent in art, and even her drawing is there in one famous movie called Bangalore Days. In the title, design
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
scribbles. At that time, she was only 4 years or something. Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
how it happens.
She's a
Like it's still
artist.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about comfortability, man. I used to wonder why, most of the times when I see doctors, they have doctors as partners, life partners, right? It's because of the complexity of the profession that they need someone to rely on to be compatible with when they keep working on a daily basis. I think it applies to every profession, right? And about Teresa, she's a wonderful artist. I've been following her on all the platforms I could. I wish to collect her artwork as an NFT one day. So yeah,
Thank you, man.
and
Thank you.
yeah, where are you currently based out of, Melvin? So what's
Yeah,
where are you currently working out of?
I'm originally from Palakkad, from India, and right now I am based
Hmm.
out of Texas.
So what's the procedure to find jobs in another country and move there? What are the benefits of doing it?
Finding job. See, for example, when I joined my company, Rapid Value in India, right?
Hmm.
So my prime objective was like I consider that as a business. Like
Hmm.
many many designers consider that as a job. So there is a
Hmm.
big difference there. Like uh, I understood like I'm not like a business person. I'm not like an entrepreneur kind of person when I joined a company like a few years before. So I was thinking
Hmm.
like, why can't I consider my company as a business opportunity? Like this is my business. Like I consider like that, and I was actually training myself. Like, okay, I'm working for this company, and I'm doing business. I'm bringing business kind of concept. I had that in my mind. So whenever I talk to customers or whenever I talk to management, the whole idea was to help my company or help the company that I'm working for. So that relationships actually help. That thought process actually help. Like I never felt like I'm doing a job. So when I
Hmm.
hired designers, when I built a design team, everything was having that vision. Like okay, at some point we need to scale it like a proper design studio where we can leverage our skills to bring more business to the company, thereby helping more business to grow their business as well. Like so I it was like a MBA course that I was doing,
Okay.
when I was working as a designer for a company. So it was so exciting. Like I never felt
Hmm.
like I am overworking. I'm working after office hours, work-life balance, all this crap. I don't have anything like that. Like I completely focus on what I'm doing and I'm getting
Okay.
excited. And that thought process or that mindset actually helped me to get here. So whenever I talk about any business, so we have got an opportunity to work for a company in US where I need to support from India, and
Hmm.
they got excited and they told like why don't we um, um, give an opportunity in US, and then my company also support me a lot. They do all the paperwork and everything. Then they push me to go to US, and that happens. Like when you help the business will help you. That is it. Nothing else,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Awesome, man. That is amazing. This is exactly the mindset the current generation of designers are missing out on. So, the previous generation, the fact that they just work for a company for 30 years or 40 years. For a fact, my dad just retired and he worked for a company for 33 years, and I couldn't think about myself working with a company for 30 years, because that's the mindset we are living with at the current world. So but yeah, when you own and think about the vision for the company, it takes you to places. Yeah.
Even
Talking.
even coming to US, right? Yeah, even
Hmm.
coming to US, I was working for this company Riverside as a consultant for like 3 to 4 years. Like, but then we got a good rapport with the company, and I was well connected with the product team and the marketing team, and also I was almost like a full-time employee there. So they offered me a job. Like that's how I joined like a full-time employee here. So
Okay.
I see to be very honest, that is something that we really need to think about. Like uh, see, the company is doing everything for your business, like think like that, like, so what I need to do is like I need to do good work. I need to I should be capable of delegating the works properly with the design team, mentoring them, like getting stuff done, so
Yeah.
rest everything is taken care of by the company. Like they're doing the sales, they are giving you salary and everything. So that is the simplest business that you can do as a creative entrepreneur, like you don't need to think about all the financial stuff that you need to run a company, run a business.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
just think your job as a business. That's the simplest method mindset that you can have. So you can work like 50 years or 60 years if you are not capable of running your own company by yourself, that is
Yeah.
possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. And keeping this aspect of working in the states aside, what do you think are the pros and cons of working as a designer in India and versus other countries?
Frankly speaking, I didn't feel anything like that, like
Hmm.
I didn't see that much issue, like when I work in India, I got the same respect and value inside my
Hmm.
company, and whenever I go for
Hmm.
any design event or whatever, like, and I was super happy
Okay.
working with my design team. They're bright, young, amazing people, like with a lot of caliber. So I enjoyed
Okay.
there working with the team there. And the only thing is like when you work with Indian customers,
Hmm.
I didn't know like how to talk about the value of design, like and I didn't I don't want to work with a lot of people outside my company at that time, because I was having good work at office and I'm getting good salary. So I was least bothered about working for other customers, like,
Yeah.
so I didn't face any issues in India. This is just
Hmm.
my personal thing, like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when I come to US, I got an opportunity to do an interview with Chris Do and some other amazing design talents over here, like design mentors and art gurus, like, so from them I learned how to talk about the value of art and how to bring value and other stuff. So the learning experience is much better and the lifestyle here is much better. The accessibility to some major design events, these are the big takeaways that happen when I come to US.
Okay.
Apart
Yeah.
from, I see amazing talents in Bangalore, Kochi, Chennai, and all. Like, um, I don't see any difference in quality. Like
Of
here
course.
also there are tons of below average designers. Uh, there are also some high talented artists and designers are there. So I don't see the quality in I don't see big difference in design quality. uh, the only thing is the mindset of designers is little different. The mindset of customers is different. That need to change. That's it.
Yeah. All right. It's just the geographical factors then. Yeah. All right. So
Yeah, that's it.
let's. I have one last question with you as a creative family. Why was MNN Studio created? What's the story behind it?
Well, that is another fun story. Like, so while we are dating, we used to say, I'm always like talk about futuristic thing. Like when we are dating, I don't talk anything related to romantic stuff. I will say like, hey,
Okay.
Nimi, we need to have like a big studio. We need to have like a amazing art studio, and we need to name it. We need to brand it. Like then we were thinking about name, and I told like it can be like Melvin and Mimi. So we short it and make like M and N, so then we thought like we'll add one more E in front of it, otherwise it will sounds like Mandan. In
Yeah.
Kerala, in Malayalam it means like fool, like, so I told like, oh, we can't put like that, so let's add bit more glamour to the word, so we put M and N. So in
Okay.
Yementon means like something big in Malayalam, so I
Okay.
put like Yementon.
That's
And
crazy. That's
we
crazy.
had this idea about this company, and then it was there in our mind, like we started website, we started Facebook page and everything. But when we come to US, when my wife got an opportunity to work independent, we registered that as a company in US.
Okay.
Now it is like a LLC here, and my wife is running a business where she teach kids art classes online. Uh,
Okay.
and we collect artworks and everything under that brand. So it has like two business entities. One is like the online art classes, and another is like an art studio. So
Amazing,
it
man.
took like
That
13
is,
years, man. That's it. 10 years, 10 or 11 years. Yeah.
you just it sounds easy when you say that, but 10 years, man. Yeah, that is
No,
crazy. That is
every
pretty
year I was
amazing.
thinking like, okay, this should be a company kind of thing, like so.
Okay.
It's like an every year a dream which happens
Hmm.
after 10 years. That's it.
Of course, of course. Thanks for doing it and sharing the story, man. All right. So the I have a set of questions
Cool.
related to metaverse, NFTs, etc. So we will jump into this segment now. Before we do that, so most of my audience, I believe, including myself, are not very frequently exposed to the words that are NFT related. So I have a set of words or short questions with me. Let's do like a rapid fire round about, you can give a one line answer or a quick answer about all these things. What is metaverse?
Sure. Metaverse. I would recommend like all these jargons, whatever you hear, right?
Hmm.
I would expect the audience to research on it, like because you might get different answers for this thing, and
Of
that is
course.
the best idea, like so. I can simply say like it's like a virtual world you can build your reality. So
Okay.
for me, that is metaverse. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency is like you can buy stuff in this virtual world, or you can have your assets in a different format, not like your original currency,
Okay.
which might have value later or which might evolve into something else, that can be a future, it holds some
All right.
future in it, so yeah.
Okay. And what is an NFT?
NFTs are, you might have heard this multiple times, like it's non-fungible token, but it's
Yeah.
actually giving like an ownership contract for your asset, whatever you have, like in a virtual
Okay.
world.
What all can be NFTs apart from digital art?
It can be anything. Like it start from an art space, like, but later it can be anything. Like it can be your house will, like it can be your car registration, maybe it can be anything that can be associated with patent, copyright, like so. Many use cases are yet to be evolved, and the discussions are going on. The research is going on. So I see a huge potential in NFTs
Okay. All right.
because
So
it's like an everything is in blockchain platform, right? So it's
yeah.
like an ownership contract as well. So you can imagine the tons of possibilities.
Okay. All right. What is blockchain then?
Blockchain, it's like a public ledger where everything is recorded. Like it's not managed by a single person or whatever. So it's very transparent space where you can see whatever transactions happen. So
Hmm.
if you ask me very technical question, I'm not capable of explaining it. But
Yeah, yeah,
what
of
I
course.
see is
Just
there's
from
like
a designer's
it has a lot
perspective,
of
that's it.
potential. Like yeah, it's more than like storing something in a cloud. Like it's like a managed by a couple of
Okay.
computers, and
Okay.
it's a future.
Yeah. All right. And do you think all this crazy thing about NFTs is going to be a bubble, or is it going to be there forever?
So what do you think about when you hear about internet the first thing, whether you think that is a bubble or whether you think like it's going to be the next big thing?
Okay. So when I
I
think
think
about
you might
internet,
born when the internet was there, right? So you might not
yeah,
understand the difference, I think.
yeah. No, I mean, internet came along when I was in my eighth grade or ninth grade, I believe. So before that,
Yeah.
there was no internet per se. There was no smartphones and there was nothing. Yeah, please go
That
ahead.
is exactly what, like because that completely changed our life right now. Like
Hmm.
many people think like why kids are so smart these days. It's because of the information that they're getting on their fingertips all the time. So
Hmm.
that happened because of internet. There are positive sides and negative sides, but
Hmm.
it completely changed the entire life. Like right now we are talking, like you are in India and I'm in Texas, and we are having a good conversation irrespective of the time and geography, right? So and in a
Yeah,
very easy way. So
yeah,
it completely changed the perspective of life. And when COVID happens, because of internet, all these people survived, like so
yeah.
uh, that that's how this NFT is also going to evolve, like since it is associated with money and great value, there are a lot of
Hmm.
scams that is happening, and
Yeah.
many hype is happening, many FOMO is happening, and
Hmm.
from a human psychology, we always catch the negative things first. Like whatever we hear about anything, we will look, especially Indians, right? We will look for the negative side. Like we always play the devil's advocate when we hear something, like so. That is why you're hearing a lot about the negative side of NFT. But when you
Yeah.
look at Adobe and bigger brands, they are investing tons of money, bringing that technology. Like when you look at Behance, now you can see a tab called NFTs, where you can connect
Yeah.
your NFTs and you can showcase that in your portfolio. Why Adobe is
Hmm.
doing that? Why McDonald's is bringing their NFTs as a marketing campaign? Why Adidas is investing? Why Nike is investing? So
Yeah.
there is something, but as I said, since it's associated with great value, we are only hearing the bad vibes about NFTs right now.
Yeah. All right. I think it's the fear of change that transforms into all this talks that people are giving about the bad aspects of NFTs. But yeah, thanks for sharing it. So
Yeah,
we can get into detailed answers for the upcoming questions. I'm just giving a heads
sure,
up. All right. So
sure.
we have platforms like Foundation, Rarible, OpenSea, etc. Right. So are these platforms marketplaces?
Yes.
What's the logic behind how these platforms function, or how do the artworks and the ownership get validated? So I think it brings back to the question of how blockchain operates. But yeah, well, let's not get into the technical aspect of it, but whatever just the designer needs to know about it.
Yeah, designer. See, for example, if you are a designer and if you want to explore an NFT, it's as simple as that.
Mhm.
Like when you upload, if you know how to upload it in Dribble or Behance, likewise, you can submit your work in these marketplaces. Many
Mhm.
people think like if you want to create an NFT artwork, you need to do something with that artwork, to make it like an NFT. You don't need to do
Yeah.
anything. Like you are just submitting your work in the digital format. So
Mhm.
likewise, when you upload an artwork into Behance, what you're doing, like you're submitting your work, giving title and you're giving the description, irrespective whether it's an image or a video. Likewise, here also you're doing the same. The difference here is like instead of signing up to a website, what you're doing is like you're connecting with a wallet. It's like a
Mhm.
digital wallet, and one digital wallet is MetaMask. So what you're doing there is like you're converting your dollars or rupees or whatever currencies into
Mhm.
cryptocurrency, and each platform is based on each crypto, right? Like for example, Foundation supports Ethereum. So what you're doing is like you're converting your currency into Ethereum, and then you're transferring some Ethereum to this digital wallet, and then you're connecting the marketplace with this digital wallet. So you're creating a profile there,
Mhm.
and you're uploading your work. While uploading the work, you have to pay some money that is called gas price.
Mhm.
And when you list your artwork for some price, that is called listing. For that also some price is
Mhm.
needed, that is also called gas price. So those value that you can detect from your digital wallet where you store your Ethereum, or
Okay.
any type of cryptocurrency. So that is the whole process, and people can bid on your work, they can buy your work, and then you will get the value in your digital wallet, like whatever value
Okay.
you put for your work. And the beautiful part is like you are getting 10% royalty,
Mhm.
even if it's sold in a secondary market. Secondary market
Okay.
means I bought your work, and if I want to resell that work, then I list it. Then it's called your work is listed in secondary market. So
Okay.
if I buy something from you for one price, like zero point 0.5 Ethereum, and if I sold it for like one Ethereum, and
Mhm.
you are going to get 10% out of it. So how
Okay.
many times that gets sold, like you are getting royalties. So that
Okay.
opportunity was not there earlier. And more than
Mhm.
that, when you upload this work, it is registered in blockchain. That means you will get your work will generate an unique code. And the transactions and the uploading process, everything is very visible for anyone who can check your wallet address, and they can see the whole process. It's very transparent and legit, like so they can know like who uploaded, who bought it, and where it is, and all the stuff. And you
Okay.
own that work all the time, like the artist still own that work, but the collector is getting the digital ownership, and that
Okay.
code, he's having value on that code, but he doesn't have full copyright issue unless the artist issue that. So this is how it
All right.
happens. It's not a big deal. You just need to
Mm-hmm.
understand little bit of how to buy crypto and create digital wallet and how to secure all these things. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. And understand how you can put your valuation for your work. It's not
Okay.
just about NFT space that all creative people should know, like how to value your work. That's it.
When you say we have different cryptos in these networks, right? So we mostly see Ethereum in most of the places when we deal with NFTs. So why is that?
Because most of the people consider that as the top valuable cryptocurrency right now. Like for example, in 2015, it was $1 for one ETH, around something like that. Like right
Okay.
now, it's like 2,500 something. It's always fluctuating, so I don't know the exact value, but so that's how the value of Ethereum right now. So you can imagine why people are crazy about it. Like that is one simple thing.
Yeah.
And so there are many things like that is going to be the sustainable model. But then, even if I say that, there are a lot of other cryptocurrencies like Polygon and other stuff, other cryptocurrencies are also rising up, Tesos
Yeah.
and all. So I'm not an expert there to comment more about which is better, which is bad and all. It's up to,
Hmm.
it's personal, and it's based on your research and your understanding. You will choose the cryptocurrency, and you will choose the blockchain, what you need to associate with.
Yeah. And when you say you get 10% royalty on all the reselling, right? So it keeps
Mm-hmm.
going on a number of times whenever and wherever your artworks is being sold, if I'm not wrong. And does it happen on all the
Exactly.
marketplaces?
Yeah, all the marketplaces that feature is there. You need to keep that in mind. That is for the artist that is getting, or the project that is getting the royalty, not the collector. Like for example, if you are an creative, if you are the artist behind one of the
Hmm.
one-on-one artwork, and if I'm a
Hmm.
collector, if I buy your work and if I resell it, I am not going to get the royalty. You are going to get the royalty.
Who actually sets these rules that artists are going to get 10% royalties? Since it's an open network, no one owns the network, and you said it's a very transparent one, right? And who sets these rules? What is the
See,
rules? What are the rules
See,
that follow?
the marketplaces can define like how much royalty that you need to get, and they can
Hmm.
give options. So you have the opportunity to choose it. Like, and you can create your own smart contract and everything, and you can do that from your website as well, and you can
Okay.
decide how much. But as far as I know, like I don't know the exact answer for that, but as far as I know,
Hmm.
10% is the highest that I have seen in many places.
Okay.
But if
Okay.
I need to research more about it, like whether we can give more royalties or whatever, or we
Okay.
can do independently about that. Like that we need to figure it out. I need to
All
figure
right.
it out.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right now I'm not bothered because I'm not doing anything from my own. Many people
Mm-hmm.
suggest me to do my own smart contract and do something from my website, but right now
Mm-hmm.
I'm relying on the marketplaces like Foundation and OpenSea and Vasirex from India, and also because I don't know much about the inner technical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I am focusing more on how to create artworks that might sell in NFT space, and how to bring the value as an artist and all the stuff. So I'm looking at the other side of NFTs right now, and I'm studying about the collectible projects and other things instead of learning
Okay.
more about the technical side. Yeah,
All
one
right.
at a
All
time.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. One step at a time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right. The follow up question is something which you excel at. So, how important do you think a community is when it comes to dealing with NFTs?
Uh, First, we need to define what is community. Like many people think like it's like a we create a community and then we support each other. It's not about that. Like uh, see the entire NFT artist gang, the entire NFT collectors. Like the NFT people. That is a community. For example, when you look at design community, it's not about Chennai design group or Kerala design group or like
Yeah.
Visakhapatnam group or anything like that. I hate those concepts. Instead it should be like
Yeah.
it can be any name. Like but it should address globally. Like
Mm-hmm.
if for example if I'm starting an NFT community or whatever, it should help or support, or we need to connect with people from Kenya or Uganda or any place, basically it should be for artists and collectors who wants to research and
Mm-hmm.
learn more. So actually I started one community along with my friend, I mean like Nadamel, like he's an amazing artist from Kerala. So
Yeah.
he had a group,
Yeah.
like he had a small group in WhatsApp where he was
Mm-hmm.
connected with a lot of artists. And I told him to start a tribe, like start a brand, like something. And he was scared to do that. He told like, now it's easy, like I can connect with the WhatsApp group, so let me do that. But then I told like, no, whatever value that you're giving in that WhatsApp, because I learned from him, like he's a very
Mm-hmm.
young artist. So I told like we
Yeah.
need to spread it out, like many artists should get value. Anyway, we are
Mm-hmm.
spending time on educating people and other stuff. Why can't we make it like in a bigger scale? So we
Yeah.
name it like NFT Malayali,
Mm-hmm.
just to grab the attention of Malu people, like
Mm-hmm.
that's why we just put like NFT Malayali, and we started that
Okay.
community. And the whole purpose was to share the knowledge, whatever we learn when we explore this NFT space. So that was the
Mm-hmm.
whole idea about it, like, and we were able to connect with a lot of artists and collectors and other many people, and we were able to spread this knowledge of NFT to many people. So thereby I think that community served the purpose. At a
Mm-hmm.
later stage I move out from that community because I don't think that is needed anymore. Like you can be a community, anyone can be a community, and you can connect with any community. And so the whole purpose and mission of that was completed. Then I move out, and then now I'm associating and collaborating with people like you. Like, so now you're a part of a community. That's what I would say. Like, you're talking to me, you
Of
know.
course.
Then we are a community. We should
Yeah.
consider community likewise. Like you should
Interest
have the,
groups or X. Yeah.
yeah, a thirst for knowledge. Like wherever you're getting good knowledge about something, knowledge is wealth, power, support, and everything. Then if you're getting that value, then that community is good, or that gang is good.
People these days give away real world items like tickets or access to conferences tagged with the NFTs they sell, like what Gary Vee does, right? Do you think such transactions in real world be clubbed with crypto transactions in the future in our day-to-day lives?
Definitely, because I bought one T-shirt from a website where I paid in crypto, where
Mm-hmm.
uh, that project is associated. That's an NFT project, like, and I hold one NFT of that project. Then it was so much fun, like I'm getting an utility from that project, and I'm buying it
Mm-hmm.
using the crypto that I have, like. So I think the concept of like dividing web 2 and web 3 and physical space, we don't need to consider like web 2 as one space and web 3 as another space, and physical space as another space, and considering it like a different world. Instead, I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking like we have to deal with web 2 space, right? We have to, for example, if I'm an artist, right, I have to put my work in Instagram and Facebook and whatever places, so that I can build my brand,
Mm-hmm.
so if I have a proper branding, or if I have a proper credibility, see, for
Mm-hmm.
example, in my daughter's case, like she was putting her work in Instagram from 2019. So when she
Mm-hmm.
joined the NFT space, people see her work from when she was a small kid, like, so they can see her evolution. They can see
Yeah.
the quality of artwork, which is improving day by day because of utilizing the Web2 opportunity. And her artworks was displayed somewhere, and in a physical gallery and all, so that is also adding credibility when it comes to web3. So everything
Yeah.
is interconnected, you
Mm-hmm.
know so I am in a research like how all these things can be interconnected and become like a better ecosystem where we can explore more ideas, like instead
Mm-hmm.
of just thinking like, okay, web3 is the next big thing, let's go with that and ignore others. That's a foolish concept is what I think. So
Yeah.
all these ideas are pretty good, man. Like some will fail, some will evolve into much better thing, so just wait and explore, like, yeah, test the
It's
water,
definitely
that's what
not
I
a
would say.
bubble.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not a
Thanks.
bubble at all, like it will change, like change will happen,
Yeah.
but you can't underestimate, like the tot the totality as such, like how it is going to change the mindset and change the business, how the creative economy is changing. So everything is relying on all this stuff.
Yeah. And for people who don't know about Web 2 and Web 3, can you give a short description about what Web 2 and what Web 3 is?
I don't know how to explain it properly, but then
Hmm.
I can simply say one example. Like in Instagram, for example, if I put my work, I'm getting engagement. But if I'm putting my the same work that as an NFT in a marketplace, I'm getting some dollar value.
Okay.
So it can be as simple as that.
Okay.
There are tons of other examples and references that I leave to the audience to figure it out, like what is Web 2 and Web 3.
Okay.
Let them research and figure it out.
Yeah. Curiosity.
I
Yeah.
don't want to give any
Okay.
false information. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
beyond
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm not a best person to explain it in the
Okay. All right.
detail. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about NFT projects, right? Can you talk about Mojo Heads and what's special about it?
Yeah, Mojo Hertz is like a very interesting project. Uh, so what they did was like they like contacted some people like 24 artists around the globe, and they created an PFP project around that particular artist. So their intention and mission is to bring value to artists, like whoever is
Hmm.
behind the NFT thing, like because the founder of Mojohead Moby is an amazing guy, like he runs another company called I forgot the name, like, but they are doing like icons and other stuff for bigger brands, like,
Okay.
so he really understands the power of artists and how much they should be valued. So he come up with this brilliant idea about creating PFP projects on each artist. So I was lucky enough to be involved in the first 24 group A, where some amazing artists are also there. Like the founder of World of Women is also in group A. So I was thrilled, and it's like a proud moment with some amazing artists around the globe. So it was a fun experience. Like I just shared my photo, and the artist behind that project, he created like 24 variations, and they have given a rarity based on the traits of that PFP. So it was a fun project, and it got sold out. Now the group B was there, and it also got sold out. So he's bringing more and more artists into that project. So it's going to be like a biggest PFP project, and it can become like a history later.
That really sounds interesting, bro. Uh,
Yeah,
do you
even
have
Gary
any?
Vee come to the podcast. Yeah, even Gary
Yeah.
Vee come to his podcast, and he told like Mojo Hut is the most undervalued project. Like that is the biggest moment. Like I was in that session hearing about it, and
Damn.
but yeah, so I have high hopes on that project.
It sounds huge. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
after getting the sales and everything on that project, actually he is investing back to the community itself, like buying NFT artworks from artists, like he have like a separate fund for it, and he's doing that. So that chain is working, like the artists are getting value, and after selling the artist PFPs, he's putting back the money back into the artist community by
Hmm.
buying more artworks. So a different kind of ecosystem is built on top of that project, and I'm super happy to be a part of it.
All right. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing. Hey, for the
yeah,
audience, PFP means profile picture projects, if I'm not wrong, Melvin.
yeah. So it can be like a collectible projects as well. So there are
Yeah. Yeah.
different
So.
categories of NFT projects here, like
Mhm.
uh, one-on-one artworks. That means like, for example, when you look at my projects, right? I do
Mhm.
portrait illustrations, and I put it like one-on-one artworks. So you
Yeah.
won't see any other piece like that, like, so that is what I do. And my
Mhm.
daughter, she's having like a character called Ava, where she
Mhm.
do a collection of the character will be the same, but she adds different traits and themes and everything. And that
Mhm.
collection, you will have like you can see 10 artworks or 15 artworks every month or 2 months going forward, and that is going to be like a collection.
Mhm.
And there are projects like World of Women, Cool Cats, and everything, where it is called collectible projects, where
Yeah.
uh, they will have like uh, multiple trades and multiple catalysts, then they generate using code, like 10,000 or 5,000, whatever. So it's going to be like a
Yeah.
collectible project. So one-on-one collections. Photographers use collection, like they have a theme like waterfall or like a monsoon or whatever, and they put that theme-based art photographs in that collection. So that is collection, and these are collectible
Mhm.
or PFP projects. Yeah.
All right. All right. Thanks for sharing that. And I have one last question regarding the NFT space, right? Uh,
Hmm.
so it's about the rarity of the artwork. It's the rarity of the artwork that makes it a good NFT, in my point of view. So it is possible for anyone to replicate or just duplicate the image and get it validated through the blockchain and list it as an NFT and even sell it in that case. So how do you think people should be aware of these things, and how do you think they should protect themselves from all these scams?
Yeah, so basically, a proper research and study is needed before you invest anything, like as a collector. For example, imagine like if Shakti is planning to buy an artwork, what are the things that you look into it? Like, okay, you imagine like you are planning to buy one portrait illustration. Okay, so what
Hmm.
are the things that you will look for?
Whom I
And you are yeah, you are searching in foundation and you want to buy one portrait illustration. Okay,
hmm
and as an NFT, and your budget is like zero point 0.5 ETH. So what are
hmm
the things that you will research?
I'll
I'm just
probably
asking
look
you.
at yeah. I'll probably look at whom I'm buying it from, and try to see if he's actually a real person. Try to check his other social media platforms, backlink him to what he's as an artist, and I'll try to actually check his credibility.
Cool. So many artists or many collectors, they won't spend that much time, like
Hmm.
so it's so that's why we are connecting with a lot of collectors as well, not like just with artists, like they need to understand the quality of art and the quality of artist, whom they are
Hmm.
buying and what they are buying kind of thing, like, so that credibility check is very much needed in this space. For that,
Yeah.
if before buying something, if you get a chance to talk to that artist, you can talk as well, like we are living into internet world, like you can connect with
Yeah.
anyone at any time,
Yeah.
so that accessibility is there, and you need to understand the focus of that artist, whether he's just here for money grabbing, like putting something and getting something. Instead of that, if he believes in this system, if he believes in NFTs, and if he has some amazing ideas about it, or if his project sounds promising to become like a great value later, like you have to consider all these things, and then you need to invest. So it is
Hmm.
the same case with collectible projects as well, like if you don't understand the future of that project, if you don't understand the clear roadmap or the utilities
Hmm.
connected with it, or if you don't understand the credibility of the team behind it, you are betting on a wrong project, like. So it's all about understanding the potential. It's like almost like how you invest on shares and other stuff, right? You can invest
Yeah.
on any shares, like you can
Hmm.
invest on any business, but if you don't understand the business, you're going to lose money. It's the same like here as well.
Yeah.
Research
Totally get it.
and
Yeah. Research.
research. Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyone can become an NFT artist now. And talking about that and the steps that are going to follow, what does it take to be a successful NFT artist or a collector?
uh, uh, Patience is what I would say. Like, for example, patience and consistency is something that makes a good collector or a good artist. Like, for example, if I'm a collector, if I have like a lot of money, and if I want to collect multiple works, and if I'm going crazy and buying whatever I see in internet, I would consider myself as a fool.
Yeah.
Instead, I should invest on projects. I should patient enough. For example, there will be a lot of marketing stuff going on. I'm saying like, okay, some influencer will be saying like, okay, this is going to be the next blue chip and blah 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 blah, and you will see like 10,000, 100,000 followers and all these giveaways, Discord activity. I never used to buy on those things, but I might buy on something even if they're not creating any hype on marketing. But if I know the team behind it, their intention behind it, and their ideas behind it, how much it can scale, So sometimes what I used to invest on this kind of projects is like I will wait, like I won't buy when it is like very small price. I will wait in the mid range when I see the real potential. So you might think like I am losing money, like why you buy for high price, but after some time you might be getting very big price, like when you multiply it, it's very big. So that is the best decision is what I think. And that is the case with artists also. Like some collectors will watch the artist for a long time, like it might, they will consider the art to buy some artist artwork by watching them for like 1 week or 2 week or 1 month. So some artists will come and they will put their work and they don't see any sales, they will get disappointed. But some collectors might be watching them, like what they're going to do, like are they going to put more works, did they understand what is happening here, like how
Yeah,
are they valuing their work properly. So see, for example, if you only have like zero point 0.5 ETH and if you want to buy an artwork, you will take like 2 months, is what I would say. Like
of
looking
course,
at
of
each and
course.
every artist, you might have like an Excel sheet or whatever, thinking about comparing this artist with that artist. So we are like a commodity, we are like a product, like so it will take time. So the patience from both sides is needed to become
Yeah,
like and proper research and connecting with people, collaborating with people, and all. Research, patience, and yeah, I think, and consistency, like even if some sales doesn't happen, you have to keep on working, like you need to trust yourself and you need to put your best work every time, and for collectors, even if when they understand the full potential of a project, if that doesn't uh, make big leap, but if you see like a good potential, you need to wait, like it's not like okay, this tank and okay, I'm getting panic and all those things. I don't do that.
yeah. Being patient is one thing we young designers are not very good at. So we'll probably have to
Yeah.
work on that. Yeah. And
See, for example, one project called Dead Fellas, like I bought one project called Dead Fellas for like zero point 0.3 ETH, like,
mhm.
and it was literally dead for like long time, but I was super hyped about the entire team, like, and and the price was not at all going up, so people were buying it and selling it and they're getting panic, and I told like no, trust that team, like it will take time. NFTs are very new, like it's something new happening, like. And what happened is like after a couple of months the value got increased, and I was able to resell their utility debt friends for like point 0.7 and other things, like which I bought. Since I hold zero point 0.3 value debt fella, I got an utility called debt friends which free, like, and I sold that for like zero point 0.7. Now that 0.31 is above 1 ETH, I just
Oh
hold
my
it,
God.
like, so yeah. Now I'm getting offers for like 1.5 ETH, and there was a time where I got like for 3 ETH, like, so if you trust on a project and the team behind it, when you see the quality and everything, uh, you should be patient as a collector.
Yeah. We'll,
And this
we'll,
is
we'll,
very new, like, and people are expecting the growth in like 1 week and 2 weeks. So I'm like, I'm really laughing. Like, oh, how can a business go like that? Like if it is going like that, I would say like I'm not a big fan of that. Like it will take time.
yeah,
Like
exactly. This is very much like how people get confused between trading and investing, right? So if you
yeah,
try to
yeah,
become a day trader, just go for it. If not, if you become an investor, you just invest
yeah.
and sit and wait. Yeah. So I,
And you
you
need to
know,
take profit also in between, like you need to see, for example, when you invest on a project and if you have like a couple of PFPs or whatever, and you when that value goes high, you need to sell one of your PFP and get the investment back, then you
yeah.
don't need to be panic, like then you are investing your profit there, like,
Mhm.
so it's not going to affect you very much, like, so in between you need to take the profit and you need to invest on other good projects and you need to trust on these things. Yeah.
Yeah. Dear audience, secure your capital, then play with the profits. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So that or all the NFTs and the metaverse. That's about it. Let's move on to the regular, non-confusing stuff about being a designer, right?
sure,
So
sure.
you have been a creative director, right? You have been with companies like Riverside, Syndigo, etc. So what does a day in your life look like? What do you do on a daily basis?
So right now I'm working with a company called Zindigo. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
data management company, like, and I have two designers, one in Uttarakhand and one is in Mumbai, and
Mm-hmm.
amazing designers. Uh, I hired them like when I was in Riverside, like, so I'm really connected with the design team, like, because those are the people who I connect daily, like, so
Yeah.
my day starts with having a call with them, checking the updates and everything, and having a chit chat about what is happening around design and outside design as well, because it's
Mm-hmm.
always fun to talk to creative people. Sometimes we speak about movies or we speak about the general life, like what is happening, so it's
Yeah.
fun, like, so the morning starts with our updates and the works that is done, reviewing works and all the stuff, and then I work with uh, the marketing team here in US, and if they need some support and other stuff, and we discuss on projects and other stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
evening, we again connect. I again connect with my offshore team, and we
Mm-hmm.
discuss about the tasks to be done on high priority. So we use some project management tools like Asana, where we prioritize our work and we work accordingly. So
All right.
it's going to be like morning call and night call with my offshore team, and in between calls and meetings and some hands-on work on something, so yeah, there is no hierarchy here. Like for example, even if I am the design lead of my for my designers, there is nothing like that. Like sometimes I will make mistakes, and they can give open feedback. So we have like a very open feedback system. Like there
Mm-hmm.
is no junior, senior, creative director, all sort. Nothing is there. Like it's all about the quality of work and getting things on time. So I'm very peculiar about getting things done on time. So
Mm-hmm.
initially they were not happy with that approach, like all the creative people, they think like they need a lot of time, but sometimes in business you need to deliver something on time, and that more than the quality or perfection, the deliverables matters at that time, like because it's defining the business, and
Yeah.
that is defining the potential. So sometimes people might not look at attention to details,
Mm-hmm.
instead they need something to help the business. At that time designers needs to think smart and logic, so for example, if you want to do a like product demo or whatever, and if you only have like 2 days, you need to purchase some stock videos or whatever, and you need to merge together, and then you need to you need to be very smart using some UI kits or whatever and get things done, because the sales team might be getting an opportunity to showcase that product demo in 1 hour or something, there lies the business. So the design team should be super smart. I like smart creative people, not more than hardworking people. So but
Yeah.
there are sometimes where you need to show like,
Mm.
okay, you are the designer in this company, and you are the creative person, and if you have enough time, work day and night, like create your own illustration, your own style, brand identity, and
Yeah.
bring your best on table. At some other times you need to be very smart using the available resources and clubbing it together and bringing like an above average quality work, and uh, submit beyond the expectation, so
Yeah.
designers needs to switch this mindset all the time, like when to work smart and when to work hard.
Yeah. I exactly faced this issue when I became a designer. I used to be an artist, and when I transformed or transitioned into being a designer, getting a work to a perfection, to a level that doesn't require perfection at the point, it always kills the designers, right? So yeah, I can totally relate to that. So all right.
And don't get too fancy about all these tools, guys. Like that's what I would say. I am seeing people shouting at or mocking at like Canva, and telling like Figma, and Figma versus XD and all
Yeah.
this crap. Like just stop it, like sorry to use that word, because I literally hate these kind of approaches. Like for example, when I work with HR team, I would say like create a Canva template. Like I create the brand identity there, and I create some templates for them, because that is for internal purpose and to get things done. Like, so, and it's easy for them to manage. If I
Of course.
imagine like if I'm creating something in Figma and if I'm assigning some designers to do that work,
Mm-hmm.
but designers have to do the marketing and the sales and the product design and everything, which is very much needed, like where the attention to details are needed. But if they are spending their time on HR related work and on this thing, the quality might suffer there. Instead, what
Yeah.
I'm doing is like I'm teaching the HR people to use Canva, and I'm creating templates there to maintain the quality. At that time, Canva makes sense. When I work with a marketing team, I might create the mockups in PPT or whatever. If I want to work on a newsletter or something, I'll create a template in PPT and I put the content over there and I send to them. So it's easy for them to put the content. It doesn't matter whether I need
Yeah.
to put it in MailChimp or Figma or whatever. I don't rely on any tools. Like when I work with product design, I rely on Figma.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do something else, some cool stuff, and I use Adobe XD. When I want to edit something, I use Figma, Final Cut Pro. Like that's pretty easy. But if I want to do
Yeah.
some animation, I might use After Effects. So tools are for our. So how smart you work, like you need
Yeah.
to learn all tools, but you don't need to rely on particular tool and be stubborn about it. Like I'm a Figma guy and all. It's like foolishness, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Get
As
things
long as
done.
you are getting the work done, any tool should do fine.
Yes,
Just
yes.
fine. Yeah.
Because your aesthetics and your thinking, your reasoning, your logic matters. Like it's not about the tool. It's all about the output.
Yeah.
Because the business people or the customers or the company management, they are least worried about what you use to do that. Like for example, I'm using Foundation as a marketplace, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what platform they are using. It's easy. Like it's
Yeah.
the user experience is simple. I don't
Yeah.
care like what technology they are using, what they are using at all. So that is
Mm-hmm.
the world we are living in. So stop fighting on all these tools and fighting on typography and other stuff and
Yeah.
grow up.
Thanks for calling that out. Much needed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about design mentorship, right? So you are listed as a mentor in ADP List and design.org and a couple of other pages, other platforms where some leaders from design industry can mentor fellow or budding designers. So why did you decide to do this, or what drives you to do this?
The major thing is like, for example, people have a misconception like since I am in US, like I might be like a better designer, like I might be like a huge designer, or I'm like a amazing guy. That's why he is in US. Nothing like that. I need to like uh, reveal like I'm like a normal above average designer like you, but I got an opportunity to work and I'm here. That's it. So I need to break that barrier, like people thinking about all these geographical issues and all, like. So sometimes when my friends see me in videos and other stuff where I talk bad English and like my communication is not that great. I'm coming from a small village. I studied in normal schools and everything. Like I learned all this language by connecting with people when we talk about ideas. So I have to break this stereotype, like instead of hiding like a big designer in US, just showing my photos and other stuff, I want to show myself into the world so that people can relate, like for example, when a designer from Bangalore, when he connects for a mentorship with me, when he talks with me, he feels like his English is much better than me, like then he feels that confidence. That confidence will help him to become like a very good designer. So I'm being very vulnerable and I'm
Hmm.
revealing myself, who I am to the world. I don't mind how people judge me because most of the creative people seek for the validation from people to get to understand like they are good. So I need
Yeah.
to break that barrier. That is the fundamental thing that I'm doing with all this mentorship because and I'm not teaching any design skills, okay, through this mentorship things, like I'm just asking some questions with these designers and understanding their problems and then giving real life examples and problems where they can solve it, like then they can use their skills to overcome that problems. So I have talked to many designers and many have got good jobs and they have replied back to me. And so the major feedback that I got is like they got their confidence back, so that is exactly what I want to do because designers need to speak up. irrespective of their communication skill, irrespective of their design skill. When you speak up, people will notice your mistakes. They will correct you. If you don't speak up, and if you have that imposter syndrome, like it's going to drain you. Like it won't help you anymore. So I want designers to come upfront and talk directly to customers, get the requirements, and work for the requirements and help the business. So the fundamental job of a designer is to help, you know, more than like designing or making it beautiful. That is why we are hired, right? Like, for example, if Shakti is working for a business owner, it's not your job to teach something to them. Like there are some myths happening. Like designers think like, okay, they need to teach design whoever they meet, you know. So
Yeah.
they try to teach design with their design leader. They try to teach design with their HR. They try to teach design with their customers. So instead of working for them, like you need to work with them. Like you're helping. You're helping someone in this world.
Yeah.
So for that, you need to be like a entrepreneur. Like you need to be like a business person.
Yeah.
Then use your skill as a tool, not like putting the skill upfront every time. Like no one wants to learn about the design system and the principles behind design and all the stuff. Instead,
Of course.
how can you help me? That matters. So I need to spread that word, and I need to empower a lot of designers in India because I trust their talent. They're amazing kids. Like, and moreover, the personal benefit that I'm getting is like I can understand what is happening around the world by connecting with all these kids, like all these youngsters, how passionate they are and where they are struggling. So I didn't get that much mentorship when I was in the design world, when I was struggling for jobs and other stuff. So I have to learn myself, which helps me a lot in later stage. So I just thought to share the knowledge. Knowledge is the real support, is what I always feel.
Wow. That was a wonderful, man. So, and it's truly amazing to see someone try to give back to the budding designers and upcoming creative people. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. And so I have a question which is like completely off this topic. Okay. So you
Sure.
are a pro member
Yep.
of the future, right? So what is
Yep.
it about? What are the what is the program? How to become a pro member, and what do you get back from being a pro member of the future group?
Yeah. So I remember the day that I connected with Christo for a podcast like you. Like
Hmm.
I was, I simply sent a message in Twitter or something. Like, and I told him like I'm a designer from India. My communication is pretty bad, but I really want to talk to you. Are you available for a talk? He told me why not. And who is Christo, right?
Yeah, I
And
do. I
I
do.
was totally that simple reply actually surprised me. Like I know how busy he is. From him I learned like, okay, who is needing any support or whatever, we need to provide it. Like then I immediately have a call with him. Then I know more about him, and I started applying it. And the reason why I did it as a podcast is because whatever I learned from Christo, I need to spread to the world. That is exactly what you are doing, right? You can have like a Zoom
Hmm.
call with me, and you can get whatever you need. But what you are doing through podcast is like you are getting some answers and you are sharing that knowledge. Like so.
Yeah.
Likewise, that was my intention as well. I started an interview series called Abstracts. Before the Abstracts in Netflix. Okay, so I got a chance to talk to all these people, Chris Do, Mauro Porcini, and other people. So when I understand Kustu a lot more better, then I understand his community called Future Pro Group. Then I joined there. Like there's a membership fees for that. He deliberately put a membership fees because he want people to be serious being there. Like because he is providing a lot of value talking about business in design and how the designers or the creative people should survive in this world. He's giving all sort of informations, and it's not just about getting the dhyan from Kusdo. It's all about connecting with like-minded people. Like everyone is thirsty. Like everyone is so happy, innovative people. So get into that gang and to connect with those people. I decided to spend $150 every month. Like to be in that group, and it was like an amazing opportunity that I got. Every day we are connected with many other people. Like I'm learning from them and keeping me grounded, educating myself. So being in Christos tribe is something that I'm proud of, and I think I will continue this membership till I die. So because I really love the vibe of people there. Like I'm a kind of person whom would like love to talk about art and design all the time because I love the creative field. I don't know whether I speak anything else. So this is perfect for me. This is the perfect world for me. I think you have to associate with the tribe or the people or who are you surround, which makes you successful. Like success
Yeah.
means for me, success is like you should feel like you are living the day. Every day you're living. So I'm getting that feel. So I'm with that group right now.
What was your biggest fear when you started out as an artist or a designer?
Fear, I doubt myself. Like that is a fear that we all have, right? Like when you do a podcast interview, you think like whether I'm a good person to do that, but then you'll think, yes, I am. I'm going to do it. Like
Yeah.
likewise, every creative people, if you are a painter, you'll think like whether I am a good artist. Some time in your life that will come to your mind. Like I had this fear. Like I thought like I'm like just a trained artist or a trained designer, and I'm like a mediocre person. Like but then I decided like it doesn't matter, like I can only do this much. So then I started posting works and started talking about design. Started talking about art. So whenever I feel like okay, I have done my 70%, if I am satisfied with my work, like 70% satisfied with my work, I consider
Hmm.
that as the top quality, from my
Okay.
side. but
Okay.
but this percentage level will change every month or every week or every year. That's a good sign. Like for
Yeah.
example, whatever I feel 70 percentage good work on 2018,
Hmm.
now it is like 20 percentage to me. Like so
Yeah.
it will keep on changing. That's good. If it doesn't change, means like I'm not growing. So I that was the fear that I had earlier because I was pretty bad in studies and everything. Like and I never get an opportunity to work under any designer till
Hmm.
now. So whenever I
Okay.
join a company, I'll be the only designer, like, so I learn everything from Google. So Google is my
Okay.
design lead all the time, like, so, and I didn't had a formal education on mobile design, UI design or UX design or anything like that. I studied advertising and other stuff, like branding and all. So
Hmm.
at a later stage, that education helped me while thinking about so that branding skills, that marketing skills, and all, everything is coming back right now at my 38 years old. Like, but I
Yeah.
learned everything from Google. So I always had that doubt, like whether I'm the good person to do this, but it works, it helps business, then it's good. Now I don't have
Awesome.
that fear.
Yeah. That's totally amazing, man. And I could see that you are involved in so many things, and you're everywhere, and you do different things, including being a creative director. How do you find time to do this? How do you manage your time?
I don't plan too much, Shakti.
Okay.
See, I plan for my future. I really plan my life, like so. In one way, I'm like very strategic person. Like I plan each and everything, like I see my life after 5 years, like how it should be and all those things.
Okay.
Uh, but in the other hand, I'm not planning my days or anything like that. Like when something comes up, like when I see a high potential, I try to put that in a time slot, whatever is available. Like for example, when your message came,
Hmm.
I have seen your podcast and I just had I scanned all your thing, like, and I understand your potential. Like how this podcast going to be after 2 years, not now.
Hmm.
Like what value you're bringing, like how you're connecting and how quality. I saw your detailed mail and everything. I was like, yes, now I'm talking to an amazing person. Even if I don't respond back or anything like that, don't worry about it. But I see your passion, man. Like so, when I saw that potential, I found time slot like when it is available and everything. Like, and I put it. It's not, and I put everything in Google Calendar. Whatever comes to
Hmm.
my mind, I put everything in Trello or Notion. I won't keep anything in my head, and I associate alarm or Google Calendar notification all the time. So every morning I will look at my Google Calendar and I will look at my Trello, and every small time I will finish small tasks. Like it's not like finishing bigger projects all the time. I'll do small things all the time. Like for example, if I want to do a Twitter space, I will think in this way. It's only like 1 hour thing, right? Just do it. That's it.
Yeah.
For example, this podcast, it's going to be like only 1 hour. I just need to wake up early. That's it. And it's Saturday morning. Like I used to wake up at like 11 o'clock or
Yeah.
12 o'clock sometimes. But I thought like it's simple thing. Like I just need to wake up early. That's it.
I'm grateful for
So
that, man.
we have, yeah,
Thanks for,
yeah, we have tons of time every day, Shakti. We think like, okay, it's only like 24 hours. It's like we need to swap some things here and there. That's it.
yeah.
Sometimes I will avoid seeing a movie, like sometimes I will avoid playing with my kid or spending time with family. Sometimes I value that a lot, like then I will skip other things. So don't overplan. Like always have a mindset like you have to change every day. You have
Hmm.
to adapt to the change all the time. Like when NFTs came, I don't know anything about it, but I jump into it directly. I jumped
Hmm.
into that well directly, and I start learning whenever I get time. Like so, when I was when I'm idle on something, I will do something there. That's it.
Yeah.
Find time for everything. That's it.
Pretty amazing. This reminds me of a quote by Bruce Lee. He says, he asks people to keep their mind like water, right? So you have different vessels every day to fill your mind with, and you adapt to it by being a water. But yeah, I can see that happening in your life. So thanks for sharing that story with us. And you talk a lot about business side of design. How important do
Mhm.
you think are the designers in the real world? Say if the world goes into a World War III, right? How do you think it will impact the creative industry? Do you think designers will still be important as doctors or engineers?
See, designers are very much needed. Like you can come with any automation, or you can say like art is not needed anymore. Like it's a very wrong concept. Like designers are very much needed. For example, if you want to raise a fundraising for Russia or Ukraine, people should see that fundraising thing, how to do that. Like you need to do a proper poster, you need to do like a proper video, the compelling video which tells the story, which tells the emotion. You need to put good photographs, or like the touching photos or whatever. Like you have to tell the story. How to tell the story that connects with your heart? That's through art. And how to represent that? That's through design. Like so these things are inevitable. Like for example, if a doctor wants to get a job, or if he's practicing, if he's having a hospital, and if he wants to that hospital chain or whatever, right? How he can do that? Through design, through art. Like so everything is connected. But doctor is not connected with the entire thing. The engineer is not connected with the entire ecosystem of our life. But think about design and art. We are that is connected with everything a human being do in their daily life. When you look at a mobile, what you see, like you see mobile apps and whatever. If it is not properly aligned, if it is not the color contrast is not good, you might miss one app. That means you might miss one business. So
Yeah.
that's the power of design, and that's the power of art. Like through design and art you can change. Like you can change the perspective of business. So that is the powerful tool that you have. Like the only thing is the mindset. Like you have to adapt to the changes, and you need to think like an entrepreneur. That is the only thing. You might not understand the mathematics or the other things. Just think like that. Like you need to bring return of investment. When someone seeks help from you, that is it.
Yeah.
So design is going to be the hottest job all the time.
Oh, that's a relief. Thanks for
No,
sharing it.
truly, like, see, for example, in US, we bought a house b- just by my wife is teaching art classes for kids, like,
Hmm.
and she has like 450 students right now per month, and she's teaching only through Zoom.
Okay.
And through art, we bought a house here, like, and by just teaching kids art classes, how to do acrylic painting and all. So that's why I'm saying this is because it's how you use your skill. Like you can see, for example, my wife is a professional artist. She is like she had done some two exhibitions here in United States. which you might think like it's like a glamorous thing, like, but she didn't sell any of her painting in that exhibition, so she doesn't get any monetary benefit, but she got the fame and the credibility, but when she start this business, that credibility helps her to bring more audience, more thing, like, so how to use your skill for the monetary benefit, that really matters, like
Yeah.
there you should be creative, not so the creative people always think like when they do some creative project, they apply all their creativity there,
Hmm.
but apply that creativity in your life, like,
Yeah.
see, you are a designer, right? Shakti is a designer. You can completely focus on the visual design all the time.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
focus on your job, but what you're doing, you're connecting with people around the globe. So I know Shakti right now because I'm in Texas, but I know Shakti from Chennai. That's it, because you're using that creativity, or you're using your uh, design thinking process in your life. So when you apply that, design is the hottest job, man. Like people crave for that job, like we should find value,
Yeah.
that is exactly what I would say.
Awesome. Awesome. Amazing. As a final thought, do you want to suggest any content that you think might be helpful to the listeners? It can be a book or a podcast or a documentary, anything.
uh yeah, I would recommend you people to watch future videos, especially Chris Do's videos in YouTube. Like I only suggest that, like he talks about everything and his team talks about everything.
Hmm.
And there is a YouTube series called Building a Brand by
Hmm.
Matthew Encina and his team. That will give more clarity. And I would suggest designers to do something like that, like from your own. So that will help you a lot. And I have one more suggestions to all the designers in this world. Like many people, they come to me and say like, "Hey brother, since you are in America and you have that much exposure, so you are able to do amazing design jobs and other things. So you can upskill your whatever, right?" It's a myth. See, for example, when you're working for a company, you're working for, you're trying to help that company and you're trying to help that business. So you have
Hmm.
certain type of jobs that you need to do, but that might not help you to improve your design skills, and don't complain like you are not getting any exposure because you are working for a company. That's a lame excuse. That is what I would say. Instead, you need to work on personal projects. You need to help on your friends projects, and you need to consider that like $1 million project, and you need to work accordingly. So
Hmm.
thereby you know how to connect with, and you need to do part-time works. Like every designer, whoever is working like a full-time designers or whatever, I would recommend you to do freelance work as well, because you need to
Hmm.
understand the pain working with a customer, convincing that customer. That's a good trait that you need to learn. When you learn that trait, and you will learn a lot of productivities as well, like because when you're working as a full-time designer and if you're doing freelance work, slowly you will understand how to manage time, like, so that will help in your productivity, like, so even if you're not getting enough exposure inside your company, don't blame it. Learn from outside the company and apply that inside your company, so that it will evolve, like that is what I would say. Many
Yeah.
people think like, okay, I'm a full-time designer, so I don't have time to do freelance work or whatever, like, and many design leaders, they won't support this, they will think like the productivity of the, that is their job, that is their job to get things done from their team. But the designers, what I would say is like they need to do freelance work. They need to understand the pain, how to ask for money, like how to get money for their work and all stuff. Then it will help in their real business, real work.
Yeah.
Many design leaders won't say this, but I am saying this. Do
Yeah.
freelance work.
Finally, someone said that.
Yeah,
uh,
why should, like, we should be very open, and the companies should also understand like they are not capable of giving any training materials for the designers. They are not giving any opportunity for designers to go big design events or whatever. So they should be open for giving an opportunity for them to do freelance work, unless they are not using the office time, office computers, or if they are not using any office related stuff, it's their choice to learn the stuff. In order to
yeah.
learn, they need to learn it in real way, not like from books or videos.
That's totally cool. Yeah. People should do that. Yeah.
People should do that.
And yeah. And let's talk about personal brand. Since you mentioned about building a self brand around what we do and what we are as a designer or a person, you have a really good personal brand and a social presence, especially when people see the splash of colors on your shirt or the yellow background or whatever I see about you. I know that this is somehow related to Melvin, right? So, what do you think, or how do you think one should plan and build their own personal brand?
Be yourself. That is the only thing that I would say. Like, and see, I'm a person. I love everything, like when you say like if you talk about photography, I love photography, I love cameras, gadgets and everything. And if
Hmm.
you talk about animation and other stuff, I love to work with animation team and other people, like so I'm crazy about films, photography, painting, art, design, anything related to design and art. I'm creative stuff, I'm happy, but we need to figure out a way where we belong to, like because this is the hardest thing, like if Shakti might be interested in many things, like you might be like a very good tennis player, you might be like a very good photographer, you might be a very good designer, but when people think about you, they should think like, okay, this person is this, you know that we need to figure out, like what is the one USP that people connects with you.
Yeah.
So I was also struggling for a while, like I do design, I do art, and I do many things. Then I understood like I might be like a better creative entrepreneur
Hmm.
instead of everything, like so. Then I was completely focusing on that, where I think like I'm kind of a person who where I can help people to find value in art and artists. So that is the one thing that I understood. So I just started focusing there. So
Hmm.
automatically the personal brand or whatever I'm carrying right now, whatever you guys think about me is happening
Hmm.
just because I hyper focus on that particular area.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
reflecting everywhere. So because I love colors, it is coming through my shirts. And I started my first acrylic painting through on a canvas, yellow paint and other stuff. So it started sticking on to my mind, and I love yellow color a lot because I'm kind of like a bright person. Like I like light all the time. Like
Okay.
I don't like dark kind of thing. So uh, I am attracted towards bright people, smart people, and energetic people like you. So I think yellow reflects everything. Like
Yeah.
it's so bright. So I just thought to use that color. That's it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Damn, man. I struggle a lot on niching down on one thing because I want to do everything all the time. But yeah, that is a really meaningful insight. People should start finding where they're really good at and start niching down.
If you can talk about something that at any time, and if you can do something at any time, that is going to be your major skill.
Hmm.
See, for example, if you ask me to design a logo or want something, I might need a lot of time, like,
Yeah.
but if you ask me to draw something, it's easy for me, like, so if you ask me to talk about something, it's easy for me. So whatever makes you easy and whatever makes you happy, that is the one thing that you need to hyper focus, and you need
Hmm.
to do other things as well. I am not saying like you just need to understand that trade, I'm not saying like that, like
Hmm.
just hyper focus on that and reflect that as your personality, that is your brand, and you
Yeah.
do other stuff whatever you like, but
Yeah.
put your major energy there. So this is my major energy, like connecting with people, like,
Hmm.
and I can talk at any time, like,
Yeah.
because this is my mission, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Melvin.
Yeah. So I want to give another tip to all the designers, like they always believe on their skill, like for example, I have very limited skill, like I'm not that great in product design, or I'm not that great in branding, or I'm not an expert in any of these skills. But what I do is like whenever I get a project, like, and if I understand the depth and value of that project, I will work with other professionals. I believe like I have like a good aesthetic sense, and I have like good delegating and project management skill. So what I do is like when I get like a very interesting project, if I don't know anything about animation, I will hire an very good animation professional, and uh, I will make that project happen. Like many designers, what they think is like, okay, everything they should be done by themselves. Like for example, they need to do the design, they need to do the UX part, they need to do the onboarding. So what happens is like when they pitch their idea to some people, that idea will be like a small idea, like because they are thinking from their skill set. So because he needs to do that, right? So he or
Yeah.
she needs to do that. So the idea is very limited. So but instead, when I submit some idea to some people, I will say like, okay, the onboarding video is going to be something like this, and when you enter into this screen, you're going to see this, and to define that, I might work with a UX designer. To do that animation sequence, I might work with a professional animation guy. So if you're a creative person and if you have tons of idea, then just explore that idea and seek the help from professionals and
Hmm.
collaborate with other people. Like if you think just your brain and your skill, the project is not going to get any best out of it. Like when you are working for example, if you are just a designer working for a company, and if you think like the product demo video should be something like this, and if you don't have video skills, convince the company to hire a vendor outside, and
Yeah.
you manage that vendor, but you
Hmm.
give that creative output. You become like a creative director.
Yeah.
And you give that designs, which is your skills, but you rely on other people for doing the other stuff. But since you have the overall aesthetics, you can convert that into a better project which will help your company. you know
Yeah.
so don't think like just using your skill you can help a company. You can use your skill and collaborating as well. So that is very much needed. Think we instead of I. So
Yeah.
then we can bring more value to design.
Yeah.
Thereby we can help more business.
Totally agree. I totally agree with that, man. You know what? That marks the end of questions I had in mind for you. So the conversation has really been fruitful. I would say, it's been 1.5 hours since we started talking, and I'm learning a lot from you. So, and I think we should do a collab and drop NFTs real time sometime soon. That would be amazing. And
Sure, man.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And thanks again for joining us today, Melvin. I really, really appreciate that.